Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of the Slice&Dice Podcast. I'm Sam.
I'm Jono.
And I'm Phil.
Welcome in.
I love that intro. Keep that intro.
You and I had a moment then. You looked at me and I did a head tilt like we were Charlie's Angels. And I'm Phil.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-da.
And we're back.
Definitely a good intro there, Sam.
Been an extra long break, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, we did last month. We kind of pushed it a bit forward because of Christmas and everything. So hope everyone had a good season. Was it festive season?
Yeah, that's what they call it.
That's what they call it now.
Yeah, I call it a festive season.
Yeah, I hope everyone had a good one. Yeah, it's been good for me. Well, it's a bit shit for me, to be fair, if I'm honest.
You got ill, didn't you?
Yeah, the whole family went down with the flu, so Christmas Day on the sofa. Yeah, fun times.
We're all getting flu jabs this year.
Yeah, definitely. I had a go at my colleague. Not a go, but I was like speaking to my colleague, and I was like, "You getting the flu jab?" And I was like, pansy.
Wow.
And it was like, "Oh, it's fine. Like, you go and do that. I never get the flu.
Can we get those included in the Slice&Dice health plan now?
Yeah. So no, yeah, I'm definitely going to.
Yeah, you got a bit of just desserts with the.
I definitely did.
With your attitudes to like. Saying people are
my own health.
What was it? Saying that they're like paranoid about their health.
Yeah,
they've got the flu.
Yeah, definitly did. Yeah.
We were getting like daily.
Are you like you ill or me ill, bro?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we were getting like daily diary updates because we were meant to have that dinner, and we were getting like daily diary updates. It was like, with a week to go, I might not make it. I might be dead. And then it's like, and then the next day it was like, it's looking less likely. One of the children has gone. It was like every other day we were getting a Facebook message.
It was definitely like an ominous thing coming up to us going out for that dinner.
I've had many Christmas days where I'm just annihilated by illness. Like it's brutal out there. Get those jabs, IMO.
Yeah, definitely. I vouch for them.
He does now.
It does now. Yeah.
It's now not a pussy activity.
Yes. Oh my, yes. Please don't cancel Jono. He's sorry.
I eat my words.
But yeah, I think we got back to locals pretty much straight away though. Like it was just literally like the first week we could.
2nd of January, wasn't it? That was our next local date.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
I remember.
We had a good turnout. What was it?
Yeah,
like
we've not had like below that 8 this year, like for their stuff really. So
nice, and we've not even like integrated our new players yet, but more about that later.
Oh my god, yeah, I'm so excited about new players. Oh, because I've just realised that like the 2 that I sold those decks to will come more now, which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, we've definitely been pushing the new player base front for a good few months now, to be fair, haven't we? Mm-hmm. Like we're doing all the learn to plays, and obviously doing the deck building and commons, and all of that has been leading up to just building this new player base.
I'm not a natural organiser, but I will throw a load of random names into a Facebook group chat and try my best.
Yeah,
but exactly. We'll say early thanks now to Lyndon, because Lyndon's been massive in the last 2 2 new events I've been involved in, because when we went to Grantham, Lyndon had like his 10 decks that I asked him to do, and then we used those 10 decks for this event.
Yeah.
So Lyndon like trusting us with like several £100 worth of cardboard.
Absolutely.
And so that wouldn't have happened without
Thank you very much, my
It's
lad.
like a candy shop of decks.
And like I know Lyndon will be listening.
Labels, like,
oh my god, that was great.
Pure dopamine.
Well, I was driving home and then I had this vision of like, oh my god, where did the decks go? I didn't put them away. What happened? But yeah, they were fine.
I put them away.
Don't worry, Lyndon, they're fine.
They're safe and sound in the loft of the Dice Cup. The thieves don't go up there.
Yeah.
No. Oh god. But I didn't die over Christmas, luckily. So I'm sorry that Jono did. But
yeah, it's fine. I haven't turned up for locals for a while just because like the backlog of Christmas and then coming up, with the new things popping up here, there and everywhere. I'm just going, I haven't got time.
No, you can just say it's because there's too much mono water. It's fine.
Yeah,
there's too much mono water.
Thanks, Sam, for plaguing our locals with mono water. Next time, lose at Campania.
Literally, when I'm at locals now, I feel like the Emperor in Star Wars, or the guy with the hood. When like Alfie's playing mono water, I'm like, yes.
You
Fetch Lena off Sarah.
You're like, you break Sahagin, Chief. Do it. Do it. Bounce Ash to hand.
Dude, the amount of Mono Water chat and hype from Alfie and maybe a couple of others in our group chat, and then everyone else going, "Come on, Alfie."
Well,
He's very hyperbolic.
He is.
Yes, well,
dopamine going.
let's have the segment on Alfie's hyperbolic chat. So it goes: Alfie plays against a deck. It's the worst deck that's ever existed, and it should be burned in every copy of it. Alfie then plays the deck. And it's absolutely nutty. It's the best thing that's ever existed. Then Alfie loses whilst playing the deck, and the deck is absolutely dog shit. And then Alfie plays another deck and realises that, and whilst he's playing the other deck, he plays against the deck that he hated. And now his deck's the nuts again. And it's just...
well, that all came to a beautiful head when I gave him some practice against Knights. So I was playing his Knights deck against the Mono Water deck.
Yeah.
That was my build, but he'd physically built it.
Yeah.
So they were both his decks physically.
Yeah.
And yeah, I managed to win both times. I did get I managed to do Laswell and lots of other Knights. And I was like, come on, man, you gotta untilt and make the right plays. Never give up on Mono Water. It's so resilient. But he was just like looking at me like, I fucking hate you.
But then there was Nate as well. So Nate, who's like brand new, and I think Alfie had this mild like, oh, they're marginally new. I'm just gonna like win and show them the power of Mono Water. And then Nate goes and beats him in like 2 games out of the 5 or something that they play with Magissa. And
I think
And Nate was just like, I could do this more often. Can I play against him and wind him up more? I love it.
They loved annoying him. Bless.
Yeah, I think Mono Water in Alfie's hands it definitely has shown him, like, it has helped him expand.
Yeah, it's great for expanding.
On that, but also I think it went to the head very quickly. I was like, I'm winning every game. This is,
I just realised that Jono hasn't seen Alfie's mat.
Oh, I know I have. Is it the Moogle
It's been
one?
done properly. He's got it printed.
He actually made a Facebook post about it, so I did see it, but haven't seen it in person. Yeah.
I like it. That's classic Alfie. I like it.
Do you want to describe the playmat for everyone?
Sure. It's a black playmat with a strip that goes across the middle with many little moogles going across in sequence that look like they're like following a trend. I don't know. Like one looks like it's been kicked in the bollocks. The next one's like crouched over going, oh. But yeah, they're all drawn by Amano, right?
It's Mog 6, isn't it?
Yeah, Mog 6. So there's all these moogles. But because Phil decided to coin him the Mog, he's taken all this to heart, and now because of this Mono Water trend that he's been on, this is my opinion, I think, maybe, but he's made himself world champ of 2025.
I like it. I like the ambition.
So it's got Alfie the Mog.
It's got his anime arc where he's like, I will become the world champion.
World champ 2025 with the logo on it, and it is very endearing, I suppose.
It's good to aim high, right?
And he has actually even put the FFTCG logo on it.
Yeah.
I did that to my mat.
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
But your mat's like a mat, and you've put it on and it's not got that you're the world champion.
It doesn't have world champion. That's true.
It was really funny when it
Is it true that you coined him the Mog?
Yeah, I literally, and it was only in like a banter thing of like, I can't even remember what it was. It was probably because of his hat, and and I literally, it was just like, I'd be like, oh, you're Sam the Frost, blah, 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 whatever. But I just did that in the middle of banter, and he really liked it.
Nice.
And it's like
good.
stuck with him. Yeah.
I think I remember actually, it's when Lyndon was asking what would our monikers be.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, well, Alfie would probably be the Mog because of his weird hat, and he immediately like took to it.
It works in a similar way to how Alex Hancock's is X-Death, the wizard, right?
Yeah, because he uses
got that vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think, there's got to be something to be said for positive reinforcement or affirmations, I suppose. For
he's manifesting.
He's manifesting. Yeah. Has he read The Secret? Law of Attraction. But yeah, no, he's with the fact that he's going through this Mono Water phase. I think, like I went with learning Storm. Once you learn a new way of playing, it helps your game tenfold.
It rounds you out a lot. Yeah.
Massively, because there's only so much aggro you can play and lose.
Yeah, I do think it's a bit of a mistake when you get these players who are like, I'm this kind of player and I only play this kind of deck.
Yeah.
Because when you know how to play other decks, your matchup against them becomes better.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
And you maybe see new lines in the other archetypes you're more used to playing, so it's just worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's something that we brought forward to help these new players, like we're talking about, find a play style that's good for their entry into the game.
Yeah. That's a nice
Yeah.
That's a nice bridge over to talking about Winter Cup, because quite a few of the newer players are going.
Yeah, well, is there? I know
One
Nate's
of them,
going.
Nate's going.
Isn't there one more?
Not that I
newish player.
Not that I know of.
No. Okay. I just don't know what's happening.
Maybe we'll remember midway through. Yeah, Jono's going.
Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, you've got to do.
Jono's going.
Thanks. Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
No experience.
I didn't mean it in
whatsoever.
that way.
No experience.
I meant it in a we don't see you enough.
Yeah.
Not in a.
I'm not sure who else is going. I know basically most. Obviously, you're on holiday, Sam, but I think most of the Nottingham lot / other teams, whoever are going.
Yeah.
We've got I know French is going now, who was initially a maybe.
Alfie's going for the first time.
Yeah, it's
Alfie's who you were thinking of, and Alfie is new by that metric. Yes.
But it's your first Winter Cup too, right?
No, it's my second Winter Cup.
Your second last time.
No, because my first Winter. So this is
because you made your video then. Yeah.
Yeah, and
sorry.
so
He made us clothes.
Look, we all know
Yeah.
I've got a brain like a sieve.
yeah.
He made us team outfits.
We were matching and we were on fleek.
Yeah, no, that was actually literally one of my best FFTCG memories.
It's really good.
And then I still
Forgot about
it.
Lol.
Phil's not here.
that Team Commons event.
Oh, that was so good.
But yeah, I'd like to. I'm sorry that I'm not going to Winter Cup. It's so annoying. It's clashed with the only thing I've planned this year.
Yeah.
So apologies to the Cactuars as well, because I was offered a free ticket to Winter Cup.
And it can't be passed on, rats.
Yeah. Alfie was like, gimme.
Damn the terms and conditions.
That's my bad though, guys. Sorry.
Well, you can't necessarily be blamed for that because you booked the holiday before the dates were released.
Yeah, it's awkward.
So it can't really.
But it's looking to be a pretty good time. There's going to be quite a big turnout. I know they upped the tickets recently to 100, so initially it was looking like, it might be a bit small, but actually it's looking pretty good for numbers now. We've booked, most of us have booked accommodation further out this time to avoid going into Cardiff, but that's just because it's a lot cheaper. That Zip hotel is so cheap.
Yeah. It's just on the north outskirts, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's you go through Newport and then you don't go into Cardiff. You literally are on the outer ring road of Cardiff, and it's. I got 3 nights with breakfast included on it for 95.
Nice.
Which is so it's pretty
crazy.
good.
Yeah, no, I got the 2-nighter for only close to 60.
Yeah.
So cool. Worth it.
But yes, with new communities popping up, I think it's going to be pretty well attended in the end because
the game's genuinely regrowing. We can actually see the game growing back up. I think.
Yeah, well, I heard some on the grapevine from people that went to Worlds that we all know of, and apparently Hobby Japan was saying the game seems to have done really well. Obviously, they could just be saying that to the Worlds players that attended, but Hobby Japan have said that it seems to be doing pretty well.
I've always found them to be quite humble, to be honest with you. Hobby Japan, I've never seen them try and they aim for high things, but I've never seen them really go, this is top tier sort of level playing games and all that stuff. They've just been below the radar half the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure who's the one. I think it's Square who would be responsible for marketing the game, right? That's where most people have a grievance. That's fair.
I think, yeah.
There's a lot going on at Winter Cup, so I'm going to be working it because I'd rather not. That's what I was going to say. Sorry, to go back. So our new players, keeping on topic. Nate's obviously very concerned because it's their first event ever. They've only been playing for a month, and we're like, sure, I'll go to Winter Cup and pay for a deck.
Yeah, fair play to them. They're learning really quick.
But the reason I was wondering why you would forgot that I went to Winter Cup, and I said to Nate, don't worry, you can't do a me and come almost last out of the whole event for filling in 3 match slips incorrectly.
Is it 3 now?
It's 2 or 3.
Okay,
it's literally 2 or 3, and I realised it could be 80th or something instead of 100 and whatever it was.
Yeah.
But and Nate was like, yeah, that's pretty bad. It's thanks, Nate. But yeah, so I was like, you literally, as long as you fill out your match slips correctly, know you've done better than somebody. Because. But so that's gonna be pretty good. I'm working it. Sam's on holiday. Jono's going to play.
There's whispers of possible. By the time this comes out, there might be a solid decision, but. on the Sunday, there's obviously the main side event, which is going to be team standards, standard teams.
Standard.
But talking to Paul McAvoy about getting a standard commons side event going as well. So
yes, going to have to advertise that pretty soon and make sure everyone's got decks.
I'm just waiting for a yes and a nod from Paul, and then I'm going to try and see if I can push a big advert out to get people bringing their decks down, because again, we love commons here, but I think there's a lot of people out there that also appreciate the format.
Yeah.
So absolutely going to try and see what we can do with that. I think it's just talking with the store about tickets, and it will be a ticketed.
Yeah, and similarly, I think as well, something that I'm looking at is that James Duff's Cube might be in a similar pool of being a ticketed side event.
It's a good idea.
But we're waiting for confirmation on those things.
And hopefully they don't include Multi-Zidane or Rugby G.
No, I think he's already said, Duff's already said, even if it's not a side event, he always has them out anyway.
Yeah,
so I think Duff messaged me recently to say he needed to do it anyway, but he's removed all of the full arts from the Cube and replaced them with non-full art and all of the foreign cards. So he needed to do it anyway, so that should be good. Main event.
And so I'm thinking maybe on the commons I might be trying to help out with running it as well. So,
nice, cool, a good idea.
Yeah.
I on the commons, I think it's such a good refresher from like meta constructed play, because the pace is so much slower.
It's got its own little meta as well, so it's nice to be able to be in a different.
And I like that Alfie's taking one of my creations that.
Nice.
That's you know, that 3-colour one. I've included enough multis to have 20 of 3 different colours.
Yeah.
Well, I like that we've now had rares, so I kind of like that it's cemented commons for me even more.
Yeah, I think commons are superior as a format.
Oh! I wasn't going to say that. I was going to be like,
I'll put it out there.
I was going to be diplomatic. You and like other people can fight. Like, I like commons because it's got the consistency of the backups, but not the power in the forward. So it requires a lot more, like slower pace play, setting everything up. Whereas rares just feels like meta light.
Yeah.
Especially 100%. Because the entire dominant icon pool is in rares, so it's just like
no Cliverific.
Although I do remember Steve's like Icewind Pavlov FFCC hate crimes list. That list was absolutely terrifying.
That was scary as hell. The things he was doing with that deck.
Yeah, Steve is just
Fiona searches off Garudas and oh Jesus.
But his brain works on a different wavelength.
He's so good for brewing for new formats.
But it's going to be an Opus 24 event, isn't it? So we're still at the peak of basically like people trying to dethrone mono water is the reality. Like I know mono, when I say mono water, and I've had people talk to me about it, it's like I don't know how to say other than it's got the most favourable sort of in a room. It's probably the most favourable thing you can play as long as you know you're good.
Yeah, I feel like,
but it's
so hard to call meta like calls like tournaments and stuff. Yeah, I would be surprised if mono water wins Winter Cup.
Yeah.
Because while it's amazing and like has really good matchups in general, there are those control decks that have a higher ceiling. So if you get a mono wind, a mono a wall build, then they can potentially do better. They just have to be really skillful enough to survive.
It would depend on the rest of the room, right? Because the rest of the room at Cactomania was very aggro focused. So if
that whole room was just perfectly designed for mono water to do well in.
Yeah. Whereas I think back to last Winter Cup, I know Hancock's was the previous Winter Cup, Hancock's was playing Gigawall, and that aggro deck, it's aggro, sort of mid-rangey ish.
Yeah.
It was carving through that room because it wasn't made for it. And it's similar to, like you say, the room was made for water at Cactomania. So if the room if people have learned that chaos isn't cutting through a single format meta, hopefully water will have more challenging matchups overall. I would be I don't want to say be miffed. I think I'd just be a bit downtrodden if the last big event of this Opus water won again. I'd be like, come on.
Yeah, if that's the case, then you start to think the rest of the decks need to catch up.
It's like going to see some water bans in the horizon if that's.
All it got this set was Marlboro.
I know, no, and Commentators for the other build.
Yeah, for the other build, yeah.
I think sets and sets and sets come out. I think only mono water can only get better without bans. You know what I mean? Like if you throw in a ban for, say, I don't know, Lena, then the whole thing falls apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can see mono water still being a huge threat for maybe a couple of sets to come. I don't see it disappearing anytime soon, just because it's so consistent. It's got such a very simple but awesome engine.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's very self-fulfilling deck. Like, you know, I've been playing Witch of the Fens list with like earth and a bit of wind in it.
Yeah.
And while it's incredibly powerful when it works, the fact it's on a bunch of colours and has to play tyros, just instantly makes it feel clunky and inconsistent when I compare it to mono water, where I just go plays, and like I'm in a good position. Like never played into a corner by my own deck ever when you're on mono water.
The only time I've ever found playing mono water difficult is actually because I'm not used to it. You are. I'm not used to keeping an eye on my deck size. And I'm like I'm drawing all the time, and I see my deck shrinking. I'm going, crap, that's smaller than I've ever had before. How do I play with this sort of pressure on myself? You know, I've never had that situation. I say never have. I have, but I've never played it enough to know how to deal with that situation.
I think the main thing for you, knowing when you've played, is the key difference is if you were on the clock, I bet you wouldn't have felt that way. If you were in a timed match and you looked at your deck and went, oh God, that's small, I bet the timer would have been about 25 to 20 minutes. And it's only at that point you'd go, oh, I'm not actually scared because the game will be concluded one way or the other at that point. Like, I'll be close to deck out. But when we play casually and there's no timer, which is why I agree with Steve D saying try to always play on a timer. Like that is real because there's no clock, therefore decking out is a loss. So I think it's worth thinking when you're scared of decking out, where would you have been in a timed game?
Because I think you're definitely experienced enough to always be playing on a timer if you want to.
Yeah, of course. I know how.
Unless you're like on a brand new deck, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think brand new players maybe need to not play on a timer some a good amount of times as well. Like it's good when you get two new players against each other and they're happy to have an hour-long game.
Yeah. But it's just that sort of thing where I think I've been in those situations, especially when playing monsters and especially playing trying to play the
Like, I can draw cards, but I can't hit them.
Yeah, exactly. or it's one of those things where you go, okay, I don't want to play this card, even though it draws me a card. I don't want to play this because I'm like 7 cards from decking out. I'm just going to thin this small pile I've got even further. Yet the cards in my hand are telling me I can only draw.
Do you know what I mean? I think a mistake a lot of people make on mono water is when they're against a deck that gives them a bunch of time, like when they're not getting aggroed, is they still like go draw. They play in this, but you can, when you're in that situation, you slow your tempo down. Instead of you play as many backups as you can, and instead of getting Apkalu off your realms, you get piranhas. So that you can poke, and piranhas are better to make LB Tidus happen, because as the advice I got from Zav was like the perfect water game is where you get to LB Tidus twice, and that's just devastating, and against in a mono earth meta and stuff, that's devastating. So absolutely, so you've got to change the tempo of your gameplay according to what you're against and stuff.
Keeping the amount of pieces on board is also quite essential for Tidus as well. So
it feels like a tangent, but really what people listening to the podcast now need to be thinking, actually this is all mono water information, this is Winter Cup relevant, because you should be thinking, even though you're like, oh my god, stop talking about it, we're on the topic of Winter Cup and what you should be prepping for. So it is, I kind of went through my brain, I was like, no, this is really good.
But if you're against mono water, you need to beeline to your remove break zone pieces if you have them. LB Gilgamesh, a new thing, it'll be good.
Yes.
You save him till you can snipe big levs out of that zone.
If your deck runs any form of monster removal, I'd say it's knowing that monster removal quite well.
Because that's why these storm builds have Chilinka and stuff.
Like my mono lightning build, Steve's mono lightning build that I run with the single Ramu in it, that's just bogglingly good.
There's a lot of if you can remove their break zone, especially like if you run Mist Dragon, when they get up to about 8 cards in break, you need to think about Mist Dragoning them then and there, because once Lena's down, you won't be able to anymore. There's a lot of things you need to do against water. If you can keep them off their backups and hate their monsters, you can do pretty well.
It's definitely a choice, because you have to go into these things knowing what's in the room, right? And you knowing what you know as well, have tried to sway me towards more playing. Well, you didn't sway me. You just said, "Oh, it'd be cool if you could just play Storm." You know what I mean? It'd be cool if you could just play mono wind and go to a room with that energy.
I think you should make your own decision ultimately.
Oh, of course. Of course. And I think the thing is, because I haven't had the chance to play or dabble or as much in the last month or so, it's kind of harder to understand where I sit within that sort of a room. You know what I mean?
It'll be scary against chaos, like
playing mono wind. Yeah, absolutely. So I've got the two choices of playing mono wind, seeing as I'm the only one playing in this. The choices of mono wind or playing Ice Fire Warriors with Clive and that Clive and that.
Interesting.
So the Ice Fire Warriors is definitely not the typical type of warriors because it's playing similar to John Serda's version, where Axstar can bring in Starter Noctis, EX Noctis, and various other pieces which actually do really work well with Shelk that can bring in the Zidane.
Yeah.
So it's an aggro. The John Serda's deck is very aggro, but I've tailored it to being a bit more tempo, so I've kind of got a bit of more control over a game.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So Alfie was testing a similar build to that. I don't know if it was the same that you're thinking of.
Yeah, something.
But he really didn't like it. Mm-hmm. Admittedly, he's got less experience than you.
Playing warriors and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So... But yeah, Alfie really didn't like it. So maybe if you talk to Alfie, he might give you a few things. I took his Ice Lightning deck, and he was on that Warrior deck with Ice Fight. He played a couple of games. I won them with Ice Lightning.
Yeah. He plays it very heavy-handed though. Alfie plays it similarly to how you might see people playing like a Final Fantasy VIII list, very heavy-handedly, no backups kind of thing. Alfie, every time I played Alfie on that Warriors list, he's played it almost no backups.
When I played him, he did go for some backup games, and unfortunately he couldn't get through. But I think Ice Lightning is a nice all-round deck against Warriors. So it's tough for him.
Yeah.
So I'm playing up with those two options. I have got another deck built, but I've never touched it, so I don't really know.
And Warriors is the long-term sort of love that you just know.
Yeah, I mean, I played it. The Warriors was the last Winter Cups deck.
Yeah.
Because
I think you have to ask yourself, what's your goal? What's like, how attached to you to like different decks are you, or are you just like completely willing to go into any deck to achieve a certain goal?
Yeah, that's what I learned. Like you and I had this discussion after how badly I did at Cactomania. And the conversation after that was like, I took Chaos sort of having this attachment that I was going to, I think I could possibly make Fringe of Top Cut with Chaos. Yeah. And that was partially because I was taking a really good deck that I'd practiced with for like 2 months.
Yeah.
But I'm not necessarily the caliber of player. I think I know that's putting myself down, but in the grand scheme of things, me versus Euros level people.
In terms of hours in, you're not like there yet.
Yeah, exactly.
You do really well in some games. I think environment and your psychological side is like a big factor for your gameplay.
Yes. But then going back to like what you said, like if my aim was a little bit misaligned, it was good to have the aspiration, but I had a bit of a weird. Actually, I didn't check my ego that much, and if I'd kind of looked at it and gone, you know what, I just want to like do as well as I can with the deck that I'm the best on. Bring all of my best cards. I probably should have taken Warriors, despite how bored I was. I should have taken Cat 6 even at the time, though I would have probably done a lot better on those. And
you can also only play with what's in front of you, and you just have these tournaments where like a lot of your destiny's out of your hands. Like you should always play and have a mindset of what is in your hands and focus on those things.
Yeah.
But like in Huddersfield, I'm like, I lose to water that was EXing on me when I couldn't EX back.
Yeah.
And then I go. And then I get paired up against a guy with a bye.
Yes.
Next round, Rob Phillips, like a Euros level high tier player, and I'm just like, why is losing a game putting me against one of the best players in this room? Like literally, probably the second best player in the room.
Yeah.
Like, and you have those tournaments, and the same thing can happen with decks and matchups. Or just EXs. Your opponent high rolls and. If they've got 15 EXs in their deck and they hit 3, you're very unlikely to win that game.
I feel like that's how it happened like for me, like I remember playing the store championship, which we held at Dice, and I came top 4. I was like, it just
did well,
I did well to get top 4, but the matchups that I had made getting to top 4 fairly easy in a lot of ways, because
had good matchups.
The matchups were very very easy for warrior deck. You know what I mean? I was just like, this. I didn't feel like, as much as I got to top 4, it didn't feel like it was a hard slog to get there. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes that goes, depends.
And that was still not an easy room, right?
No, it wasn't. Steve D came down, which was really lovely.
Steve D was there, and then some really good guys from Yorkshire.
James McNulty was there.
James McNulty, who killed Steve D at Cactomania, which was crazy.
Yeah. Yazuki is a nightmare.
Yeah, bless that. I felt rough for Steve on that game. Thing is, Steve was an absolute gentleman about it too. He gave James McNulty a bunch of practice games. I've probably said this before, but he could have been like Cloak and Dagger and been like, no more practice. Because I don't think James would have won. I don't think James would have won that game without those practice games. Like, James is an amazing player, but he doesn't get to play enough.
No, for sure. If I was going to Winter Cup, this is what I was thinking. If I was playing at Winter Cup, was like where I was sort of leading on to when John left the room. Like, I would probably be taking Mono Lightning or Warriors. I'm feeling much more confident on Mono Lightning than I used to. Like, when I first started playing Mono Lightning, like late last year, I was playing Irvin like all the time, and I've realised he's not a bad card, but I'm discarding him happily now. I have no problem discarding Irvins and being like, you know what, like, just
totally matchup dependent.
And I'm just realising he's not as crucial as I thought he would be, because I'm used to playing Irvine, whatever, in like decks where he does get positioned pretty well, so like Alcid into Irvine or whatever, and he is really good as an aggro piece. When you just playing him on his own, like in a sort of like, you know, turn 2, you've got the odds back up to do it or whatever. It's just too slow, and you'll kill it or bounce it, and I'm like, great. And saving up for my Man in Black plays, my summon recursion, that kind of stuff. It's just so much. I'm in such a better place with that now.
It's a very fun card, isn't it, Man in Black?
I love it so much. Honestly, since all the techs like that, so I built that list obviously that I've got, but then sort of learning the techs as it goes through. And the Raiden Revenant Rings is just Raiden Revenant Wings is just one of my favourite cards now.
It's funny because I did bring up that when I showed you the wind lightning list, and you were like, what's Raiden doing in this? And I was like, oh, there's this, and is it the same sort of plays that you're getting with Ramu and
it's the Man in Black, and then the Ramu that breaks every active forward it touches. Yeah. So I've done that Ramu twice, which has been so great. I sit there and go, they're all active forwards.
That's fun.
It's so funny, and they're like, what? And I like read the cards. So what is it? Ramu says, if a lightning summon deals damage to a forward, break it instead. And Raiden Revenant Wings is a 1 CP summon that says deal 2,000 damage to all active forwards your opponent controls and draw a card. And it's an EX. So
like, I'm paying half a CP to kill everything.
It's just insane. But honestly, it's as well as that, it's about how it's 1 CP, and if it's in the Man in Black removal loop, the Man in Black, I went up against Alfie, for example, playing his Icefire Warriors, and he went wide. He went Tyvus, Axstar, Shelk, Firewind, Zidane in one turn, and I won that game. Because I Man in Black, Ramu, Raiden Revenant Wings. So just constantly looping this 1 CP summon to make it so Zidane couldn't attack.
That's cool.
You know, and
that's a lot of fun.
And it's funny that you're bringing like a card that's seen play for quite a significant amount of time, and you're finding out the nuances of it for the first time, which is great. I think
this is what it's like to be French.
I'm gonna be the boring guy now, and I was like, I'm surprised that you would consider that for Winter Cup. That I know you're not actually playing, but
well, it's either that or it's the Warriors conundrum again. It's just play Warriors.
I'd rather go Ice Lightning than Mono Lightning.
Yeah, I played Ice Lightning.
You can attack their hand.
Well, I go Earth Lightning by that logic of like.
Mono Earth that's got a bit of lightning is pretty amazing.
Yeah, the sort of like stuff that I was labbing it for a while, and then I dropped it down. I gave it to a list to a few people, and then out of that came the Leo Leo 4-wall list with a bit of splash of lightning in it, I'd probably play that because I'm confident with both sets of it.
Yeah, I like the look of that deck. Yeah, did I tell you? Did you see that Steve showed that deck on his last stream?
Yeah, he showed it on his stream and he was playing it like at locals and stuff.
Yeah, it looks really sick actually. Fast mono earth.
Yeah, and
Brazilian mono earth.
And I was sitting on Discord with a few people with that deck, and I had my deck like as far as I'd taken it, my Earth Lightning, and then I'd had his, and I was like, I'm not gonna make his. Not gonna do it. And every time I changed one card, it just inevitably went towards that. And I was like, fine, I'll keep mine as is in the back, like in a draft folder, and just know that it ends up like that. Yeah. It's only James McNulty was looking at a list where he tried to avoid putting that in, and it was quite different. But his was completely. What was it? It was basically completely lightning, apart from having in like Kusiths and a Tyro. You know, like
so
it was the other way round of like. I think it was that. It was one of those ways, but it was a very different way of looking at it. But yeah,
I love to see James McNulty lists. That's why he thinks about the game differently and he makes it work, which is I find anyone like that interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, your Chris Matisky type vibes.
Yeah. Well, so what would you rather? Not what would you rather, but so if you're thinking Mono Lightning's an interesting take for me, is Cat 6 for me?
And I'm saying this as like someone who's not played Mono Lightning properly for a while. So I just in my head, like when I think about different decks, you've got decks that the cards have inherent value and it makes the deck powerful, like Mono Water. You have decks that can attack your opponent's resources like ice.
Yeah.
And that's a particular kind of power that's very niche, or like multi-Zidane is very disruptive.
Yeah.
And then like these are the strong things that make decks good. Mono Wind is just the value is unbelievable, higher than anything. And then when it comes to the removal elements like fire or lightning, I feel like they have the most rough time because they can kill stuff well. And their way of winning is literally having to hit the opponent in the face. Like, it's really hard for them to win on board before killing the opponent if they're on a control deck.
Yeah.
Because the opponent's never putting down anything that will put them ahead by killing it. So you can't get any value by killing anything. So that's why I think it's so hard for fire or lightning to win. Fire at least get so they get value out of like playing these guys out for cheaper.
The Montleonis.
Well, yeah, lightning I've started doing, it's like the odd Gilgamesh for break zone control, so I don't need to play something like you say.
And then you're getting a bit of value from some other resource.
And then it's got like before Ramu came along, so Ramu 16 came along. Then there wasn't a lot you could do other than put down an Irvin, hope it lived for a turn or two whilst you're trying to build stuff up. But now it's a case of like I can put down a Sidolphus and search. If it doesn't survive, I'm kind of not bothered because I might either play another one or I'll hard play a Ramu and get that cast trigger, which is like inherently good value removal. So I found, and the part of Lightning's identity is it being sacky as fuck on the EXs. So it's sort of like the game plan with that is I don't mind taking some EXs whilst I'm setting up because they are extremely stacky EXs. But I agree.
It's just the control matchup that's so hard, right?
Yeah, I agree. I would like to take the Realm Monsters Cat 6. That would be pretty
funny. Yeah,
that'd be pretty funny to just consistently.
That's got a crazy ceiling, that deck.
Yeah, it does. I'm so glad that was made a thing because I just love I love getting Hippocampus out and then drawing Go-Go and just looking at my cards and going, this is gonna be wonderful.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's probably what I'd do one of those things anyway. I always feel a bit unconfident taking Cat 6 because it's a pet deck and maybe I've D-tiered it in my mind to being playable at events when really it is because I play it enough.
I'm glad you like touched on Sidolphus and Ramu because they are cards that have come in and they do what they do for a good price, for good value. So that's pushing it towards, that level.
I think if you removed those two cards, Mono Lightning wouldn't be what you think how you've been playing it now, right?
Yeah.
So if you remove those two cards specifically, the deck falls apart.
A lot of what I need revolves around them not being on board, but knowing that they're in deck because it's going to be like, oh, I'm putting that summon in the break zone so that LB Lightning can fish it back for when I've got a Ramu coming around. Like it all works quite nicely. Without Ramu, none of that matters.
Exactly.
I can put that in the break zone because of Man in Black, but also knowing it exists for other things. It's it needs. Sidolphus is one of the best things to happen to the deck. Ramu's also great, but just likes it authors.
Yeah.
Plus, yeah.
I'm also, when I like overview like how I see the game like that, I'm just so cautious. Like I don't even like playing a tempo deck without backup Lena and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I just hate how risky being aggressive is. Like putting resources out there and risking EXs. It's like, why would I do that?
Yeah. But at the end of the day, with like Winter Cup, I'm just like, it's the same as any event, and I think I said this to Nate recently. Like, it's like you said, you've got to go in with not the correct, but you've got to know your mindset and going with the right mindset. And I said to Nate, like, I know it's your first one, and Nate's super centered and leveled anyway, but like, just go in with like no expectations and literally even playing cards is a victory. You know, like
it's a weekend away to just do the things you love, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, and that's what I'm doing that with judging as well. I'm just gonna be like, you know what? Even if I do my ruling gets contested and I just like die inside, I still got to have pint with friends.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know, you know.
Yeah,
so.
I think you know, I'm not having a go at anyone or anything like that who's in the
community
organising of these events or anything like that, but you know, I can see why they've chosen this side of the year, you know, the year's end and all that, because of everything that happened with Worlds and stuff like that, and it's just, it doesn't feel as wholesome. It's wholesome regardless, but it doesn't feel like, oh, it's the end of year, like get Christmassy, like, you know what I mean?
It's less festive.
It's not necessarily festive, because it was never the festive thing that I was going for, obviously, but it's not. It doesn't. I don't know. You know what I mean?
You're feeling less cozy because it's in January.
It feels a bit strange. I don't know, because it's a different.
By the way, is this releasing before Winter Cup?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, we'll get this done.
Yeah, Winter Cup, which is a good thing. It's a good thing you asked. Winter Cup is 7th and 8th, or 8th and 9th, 8th and 9th. So it will be out before then for sure. Because I won't have the time, because I think it's this. Because I've got to do it this next week. Yeah. So I'm thinking this is now monologuing on podcast about podcast, because I've got Gundam TCG next Saturday. I got one of the like £70 beta box in like things at Dice. So
nice.
me and Gareth Elixir are like going next week, and it's gonna be.
Tell us how that goes.
I don't plan to get. It's gonna be expensive, so I don't plan to play it past this. But
is it a Saturday?
Yes.
I might be working then, unless I'm in a holiday.
You'll still be there.
Sam's going to float around your table for a bit. Just check it out.
What's all this about?
Yeah. I mean, I'm always up for a new TCG.
It's a box that comes with 2 decks. So 2 decks inside of it you can make. They're not actually 2 decks, but Bandai, I think it's Bandai game.
Yes, it is.
They've released online like, here are 2 decks you can make out of your box. So they hadn't done that until about a month ago.
I've heard it's like a big starter set.
But yeah, so the beta set is basically like if Opus Zero.
Yeah.
It's kind of basically Opus Zero. They've already announced what the first booster box is going to be, and this is literally the Gundam beta box. So it's Opus Zero is basically what it is.
Yeah.
So back to Winter Cup.
Yeah.
Do we think the meta at Winter Cup will be influenced more by the World's decks that we've seen, or do you think they're going to stick to like a UK meta? They're going to be influenced by Actimania and Euros?
I mean, to be honest with you, like, what is outside of think of Worlds, right, and think of the decks that come from
those Haragai decks, though.
Yeah,
I'm sad I didn't see anything like that at Actimania, because I really love the Haragai stuff.
Yeah.
But that's again, that can, I think, scare some of us over here by going, it's so different. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know there's going to be some people out there that take those sorts of ideas and run with it, but because
sorry.
Go on then.
Well, I'm just wondering if those Haragai decks translate into single deck format. Because he's basically done the thing of like, well, Warrior of Light's incredible, and Witch of the Fens is incredible, and then he had decks with those in. That's kind of how I've seen it. And he wanted water in both his decks, and he had to try and find a way to split it across 2 decks. And he did it really successfully in a really unexpected way. You know, he included Clive in all kinds of things. But like, if we have a meta at Winter Cup that's based on Worlds lists, you're going to see a lot of Turbo Chaos. You're going to see loads of 4-colour wall.
Yeah.
And you're going to see Witch of the Fens everywhere.
Yeah. I think we'll see some more Ice Primes. I think we'll see a little bit more of Ice, like, because there's been a little bit of hype around Ice and Ice Primes, and now we've had longer Opus 24 circulation. Although Clive is still pretty impossible to get. Literally, Sean was just messaging me about this, because I looked at my phone, I was being naughty. But Clive is turning out into Irvine levels of scarcity, you know, and and the worst thing is that Clive is in print. You know, Clive is still in stock of distribution, and yet, like, I mean, Irvine is probably as well, but like, and he's that levels of scarcity because he's so good, nobody will sell him. You pull one, even if you're not playing a deck for him right now, you don't want to lose that card.
Well, I mean,
I'm going to sell one if I pull one.
I think Alfie was very...
Stop disproving my point.
I think Alfie was very happy with his birthday present because I gave him one for free.
Yeah.
So that was very generous of you.
I just saw it there and I'm like, cards are cards, right? And if you can help out someone who wants one and is struggling to get one, I'm just going to give it to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think ice is going to be... I think we'll see a bit more ice because
Prime,
you've got either ice primes or like stuff, because there was that list that was the Shiva's Crown. I know it's America, but that Shinryu mono ice list had a little bit of ice on it.
Yeah.
So there might be some people trying mono ice.
I know that Linden's taking mono ice as well.
I do think the FF community really surprises you as well. Like there just seems to be a deck that's everywhere. And it's not necessarily meta predicted, you know, it's just it just happens. It's just like, oh. So it's hard to anticipate, but I think if you're teching for Winter Cup and you like really want to sweat and try hard, you have to look at those worlds lists and think, here's the key cards.
The unspoken deck that I have built, you know, the one that I said I haven't even touched yet, is the Haragai Monster list, which I haven't touched yet to even know how it plays and work out. So I was like, nah, I can't really take that without any games whatsoever.
So did you build it with the Aquatarasus or Amats?
Yes. Oh, with the Aquatarasus.
You may as well switch them for Amats if you're doing single deck format.
Exactly. I built it as scripted, and then I can look at where, you know, how to move those things around. But I don't even know if I'm playing it yet. It's built in my bag right now, but I just have not touched it.
There's a bounce engine in that deck. Beautiful deck.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely
that's your world championship name, Sam Bounceman Frost, or Sam Bounce Frost. I don't know, something like that.
Don't tell Kinney.
you know the old game. What was it? Was it called the Bouncer?
Oh right, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's it. I bought you that for your
You did.
What was it? Your 16th
Oh,
birthday?
yeah, it needs to be Sam Bouncer Frost, because Bouncer looks great on the back of like a shirt or a jacket. Instead of whatever the crude one was. I know you have
Jizzlord.
Yes, it was like Sam Jizzlord Frost.
Oh, that comes from French, right?
I wish I could forget.
Yeah. It's just involuntary. I'm like, what's that crude name? You're like, Jizzlord. I remember it.
Proper Tourette's. Yeah, no, I think if I was to actually really think about going with proper, like, solid constructed ideas of where how I want to do in this tournament, I probably would have practiced it a bit more and probably found time to get on Octagon or something like that just to kind of play it a bit more, but I just haven't had the chance. And so why go to a tournament with very little knowledge of the deck you're playing? You know,
you do want to just be practiced on the deck you're taking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
as much as you can be.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think Winter Cup's going to be great. So I think we're like pretty spent on talk. It's not much more we know at the moment.
Yeah.
But it's been I think we've been pretty lucky with having a stacked year already. With even though we've only had the one big event for the newbie event, which we can probably move on to, I guess.
Yep. Yeah.
Like that was really good. Do you want to tell us about the newbie event?
Yeah, we've had a few. In 2024 we had a couple, didn't we? But then we had the newbie event in January. When was that? A week ago?
This week.
It
was this week.
I don't know how time passes.
It was 2 days ago.
You expect to?
Sorry, it was like two backup draw turns ago. Speaking Sam's language.
Brain only functions in FFTCG.
Yeah, it was two Leviathan X-bursts ago.
Created a monster.
Yeah, because like we had last year's one was like the first one. You were like, we've had all these new people from the Magic conversion event. I guess we were thinking of. And
we'll officially call it that.
It kind of were.
Disenfranchised with your overly expensive TCG.
Yes.
Do you like the stack? FFTCG.
Do you hate land?
Land screw. Yes.
So we did that, and you and Jono did that, and then there's like a lot of people. So I realise I'm now describing the event, even though I asked you to describe it. But like, there's a lot of
self-awareness kicks in. I mean, to be fair, I didn't know how time was passing, so it did look like I needed help.
Yes. But I think we've done like I think probably 2 events roughly, something like this already, and there's still like a lot of players. And this is a good meta commentary for people for their own locals, because we've got a couple of new locals popping up. You get a lot of people when you introduce newbies who I think we found they're just not moving past the getting a deck stage.
Yeah.
But because they're not at the getting a deck stage, they're not turning up to locals either at all or very often. In case of like some of our better ones, like say Gav and Carolina, they're coming to locals and like just like sitting in the corner or playing on new decks with us or playing like retail stuff we have on hand. Then we've got a few other people who are like just not coming along. And they're going, oh, I haven't found a deck yet. And it's like, you just need to buy one. You just need to like do it. You just need to, and
the reason I've gone that way is like my main concern was like having this like horrible experience where you start a new game, you have fun intro games, and then you turn up to a locals with your like dual deck with maybe 1 or 2 changes.
Yes.
And then you run into like incredibly powerful meta decks, and you just.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I wanted to avoid. So that's why I've had this like. I'm so lucky that we've had enough new players to create these like.
Individual times,
like,
right?
What would you like, nursing pool or whatever?
Yeah,
weird way to put it.
Well, even YYT,
nursery.
even YYT have this, and I can say this because I've met these people as well. YYT had 2 new players, Aiden and Kiko, and I know that they ran like a little pod separately for them one day because they were like picking up soirees and they were getting lent decks and they were like borrowing stuff. Yeah. And now they're like playing in the pool with everybody else and getting some really good results. But they had a similar thing to us of like having to not wanting these new players to have a bad time of. Like Chris, for example, at our locals, who was got his Noctis deck, his Noctin Ardin, and said, "Oh, I'm going to upgrade Noctis," and it's like, no, maybe not. And he's now looking at Mono Fire, which is like, yeah, cool. Like at least we're looking at a thing, you know. So
I think that's true because sorry to be self-reflective, but I remember the reasons why I never got into these TCGs before Final Fantasy was because. You coming in blind, well not blind, but you do your research, you find out what the best decks are, but then it's money dependent in those settings and to get to the level where you play those against the hardcore decks. And if you're still learning and everyone's like proper competitive high level players, it feels very daunting for someone brand new to get into the game. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, in that regard, you and I were very lucky that we got to like pick up the game together, learn together, and then we just made a new scene.
Well, this is it. Because I started collecting on Opus 1. What are you?
Sorry, Sam and I heard a noise on the window, and then we're all just like going, "Oh my god, what is it?"
There's a ghost in the
podcast ghost.
You're haunted. I remember picking up. Early packs from Opus 1. This is when Toys R Us was still there. I was like,
some discount.
Jumping into Toys R Us, and I was they were selling them, and I was grabbing packs then. This was Opus 3, you know, and it was around that sort of time that I was like, I can't be doing this like I was a teenager collecting Pokemon cards because that's all I was doing. I was collecting them to have in a binder, like my Pokemon cards, and I was like. I need to learn this game, and I was like, "Who knows Final Fantasy like me?" And I was like, "Not quite like me, but Sam does. Let's get Sam playing." And that was when we were like, have that photo of our first game playing, and we've got like shit, like no mat, no sleeves, no nothing.
Oh, I'm imagining that this is like a very, very similar to that picture that your parent takes of you at Christmas on the Polaroid, and it's got slight lens flare and sepia tone on it. Like, that's like you two, like I don't know, like baddies, like I'm playing Opus 1.
Yeah,
we were in Chimera, right?
Chimera. No.
Oh my god.
We went to Chimera because that was the first time. Well, I think I did a little bit of research. Did a little bit of research, and we found that they were playing it there.
Yeah.
Chimera slowly went out of like I think Opus 5 pre-release was the last time.
I remember I was against a Japanese player there.
Yeah.
It's gone completely now, that store.
Yeah, has it?
Yeah, completely gone. They went online, and then due to not being able to afford the shop itself, and I don't even know if it's alive online anymore.
It makes sense.
I remember this player because I had Earth Wall.
Yes. Yeah.
And the Japanese dude was like so powerful. He was like mesmerized.
Of the time, yeah. And like we never knew the power of Y'shtola back then either. You know, it read like. Some bit shit, you know, but like having to break a forward was huge back then, you know, like getting rid of the things that block.
I played
things that
3 for
attack.
this. Why would I break it?
Exactly. It was very
Break your shoulder in this economy?
very confusing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we went to Sanctuary, which was up in
Oh god,
Sutton and
I have
Ashfield.
such
Sutton
good,
Ashfield,
good
yeah.
memories of those.
in that
those locals.
freezing. Oh mate,
Church, yeah.
I went with a jumper one time, and I was like, why did I fucking do this in December? I was just like shivering my tits off. And
But I won my first locals there.
yeah,
So
it was yeah. I'm
Rainbow Monsters, Camlamort, Chaos Engine.
You've not changed.
I've not changed at all.
everything about the monsters was your thing from day one, from like Opus 4. And then because that started to peter out as well. I literally just turned I was going around trying to find places to buy cards, and I went to Dice Cup, and there I was like, we were on like Opus 9 at that point, and Opus no we weren't. We were like Opus 8 at that point.
Do you remember that dude who gave us loads of Opus 3 balls?
Yes.
Legend. Shout out to that
we
guy.
went,
I don't even know who he is.
sorry, yeah. Just our
Someone's listening, he's like, that's me!
our little secret. And so yeah, it was super crazy because we like got there, and they were like 2 sets behind. I was like, oh, we need to do something about this. We can't let this game die. And so I just was like speaking to Steve at the time.
Yeah.
And
So we do have Opus 10 in still now
yeah.
in the Dice Cup.
Well, I think that was overbought. I think at the time, because
yeah.
we were like,
$2 million
plug this game, and we were like,
Probably
buy as
your
much as
fault.
you
You were like, buy 20 boxes.
probably.
Well, we've got plenty of Opus 24, right?
yeah. I mean,
The less said about that, the better.
Yeah.
from where we've been to where we are now, I'm very proud of our scene at Dice Cup and how
Yeah, man, you've stuck it out.
it's good. I'm glad. Yeah.
But
I'm
for
very
these
glad.
new players, they haven't had all that, like, well, this is like forced segue. No, back on track. These new players haven't had any of that, so the worry that Sam has about, like, which is very legitimate, of like, you know, you buy your little first couple of boosters like you guys bought, and the only option you have is to turn up to a full power local.
Exactly.
And we don't even play full power all the time, but like, even if we're on bad decks, like, or worse decks or whatever, we're still gonna just win. Sorry for hitting a thing.
I definitely.
So that's what the new events have been for, and this one, I think I ended up sort of like rehashing the idea we did for Grantham, and Lyndon, being the legend, lent us his 10 decks, like we said earlier, and all the players turned up, and there were even people like we didn't know were coming. So we had a few, like Nate's friends, basically.
Yeah, Nate invited 2 friends, really awesome of them.
They were lovely, Stu and Josh. And I remember Stu's name, yes.
Remembering.
Remembering trophy. Yeah, and we had the 10 decks for them, and they warmed up on like something smaller first, like retail stuff, because you suggested that. I almost threw them in the deep end. And then we explained the decks to them and like what kind they were. So there was like Ice Primes, there was Mono Fire Takatsugu, there was...
Mono Water, but Leviathan.
Folker Mono Water.
Well, he's got Leviathan.
That's what you mean. Yeah, same
Yeah, but it was the Folker variant, not the Sahagin Chief monstery one. There weren't any monsters in it.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah,
because the monster deck doesn't run the Leviathan summon. The one with Garnet.
Summon.
The new Garnet.
When you say Leviathan and Water, I just think of Big Lav.
Understandable.
There was Luso. There was Refia, Warriors of Light.
Not
Control.
Yeah.
And a few other things like that. I don't know how many I've named. And people like had a really good time and actually played a couple of different decks. Like Stu really settled into Ice Primes and was like, I'm really loving this.
Yeah.
I think we had Jordan, who has been coming a lot, and actually he had a different interesting thing we can talk about in a bit. He wanted something different out of the event, as well as playing different decks, which he did get to try.
We had a Knights deck as well.
Oh yeah, Knights. Yeah. Because Chris loved
had a
Knights.
great time.
So the beautiful thing about what Lyndon did, and I'm gonna throw all of credit to him, is that he made all close to meta decks, but toned down the level. And I think that's just Lyndon to a T anyway. He likes to tone down the level and then get the best out of what you can see. But
you can bring a lot of passion to it, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really
so these decks, it had mono water, so it had the standard structure, but obviously it was for Lev, so it wasn't powerful like mono water like we know.
Yeah.
Had Refia with Warriors of Light rather than Control, so he's like toned these decks down for these players who are brand new.
Yeah.
And it works perfectly for that sort of environment. I think like you can't just give well, in my opinion, you can't just give like brand new players, say, a full Storm deck with the best pieces in it, and then they go, try this. And
especially that's the hardest deck
in the game.
Because the worst thing a new player will have, and I have this even now just because of neurodivergency, when you're like stuck on what to play, like you're holding this hand of new cards or even old cards, and someone just looks over your shoulder and goes, well, you want to play this, and then that'll go into this, and then that goes into that, and then on turn 3 you've done it. And a new player just goes, I don't want to play this. This is way too hard.
My brain
when
melts.
it isn't, you know. And I get that as an experienced player
you've
now.
got to make sure you don't.
Overload.
You've got to let them feel like they're making choices and decisions. You can't. The game is for a lot of people. The game is not going to be interesting if you like backseat them too hard.
Yes,
Of course.
but I think the best things about the event ended on like Nate's friends saying we want to play more. Unfortunately, Josh can't because of conflicts. He can only play on Wednesdays, but he'll play with Nate often, things like that. Stu was like, yeah, I like this. Chris got to try something a bit more powerful when he's coming every week anyway because he happens to be in the Dice Cup. And
James was a new guy.
James
was playing against Nate when I first turned up.
Yeah.
He had glasses,
I'm blanking completely.
curly hair.
Yeah.
I'm blanking completely. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'll probably remember. Yeah.
Was he one of Nate's mates?
He
Because
wasn't
Nate's
one of-
mates were Josh, the shorter blonde person, and Stu, the big guy with the coat.
Yeah.
And then there was Jordan.
Jordan was there. But
No,
James,
there was a guy called James, and he was playing against Stu.
See,
at the beginning.
I turned up to this halfway through as well.
Did
so
he?
I'm
If James,
hoping-
maybe it's because James, I'm guessing, left quite early. Therefore, I'm only remembering the latter half. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
That's fine. Sorry, James.
No, he was on Mono Water for a time against Nate, and I remember coming in to seeing.
Oh my God, James is my work colleague.
Sorry for the loud clap.
I'm just
Sorry, James.
guess James is going to send a complaint to HR on Monday.
Phil, my dude.
Like, I was sitting there just because, anyway. Yeah, James.
You just try to outdo my brain farts, right?
Yeah. I've got brain diarrhea at that rate. It's just,
So I came, the James, your colleague. I came into the game, and you can't help but like see a board state and go, I think I need to favour one over the other just to help, especially when this guy's less experienced than say Nate was at the time. And I said, do you mind, confirming, making sure it's all good?
Yeah.
And I was going, and so I think when you say, don't over egg it with backseat playing and stuff like that, I think there has to be a consensus that we're figuring this out together, you know what I mean? Because I hate doing that. I hate making someone feel uncomfortable.
A little sprinkling of coaching in a way that
They were
will
pretty good.
make everyone's experience better.
As like a group of newbies, they were really good at just getting on with it and then just saying, hey, we're in the middle of this thing. And they explained the stack really clearly and then said, how does that resolve? What happens? Or they go, I'm not going to do it because it'd be coaching, but could I technically have done this here? And you're like, yeah, you totally could have. Like, they were really, as a group, they were really good at asking that. Like, midway through, Stu realised that, like, he could use backups with tap abilities, like, on the stack. And I was like, yeah, totally. He's like, oh my God, that changes everything I've been doing. I'm like...
Stu did mention that this was his first TCG as well.
Wow.
He's similar to Nate. He's played a handful of Magic with Nate at houses, so they're similar level, which explains though why he picked up the game like as fast as Nate did. Like, it's just crazy.
So spins my head. I took a year to get where they did it in like 10 minutes. So.
Yeah.
To be fair, like even still on our game that night, you tried to just do Kukulane on certain things. I was just like, fucking hell. This card has bugged me for the longest time.
Praise the Opus 1 Kageyama scriptures about Kukulane.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to put those on the sleeves.
I'm so tempted. It looks so good. But and Gavin Carolina turned up, who had been like looking for a deck to like buy into, so that felt really nice. They ended up buying the Earth and Magissa decks off me.
Nice.
I felt really bad, so I basically like sat with them with Sam and sort of like said, these are all the cards, this is how much they're worth, and you're getting oodles of money off because I didn't pay very much for them anyway. And they were like, this is a no-brainer. And I was like, okay, as long as you know you're not like winning the next locals and you still got to put like 30-ish quid in still, and they were like mega happy.
Yeah.
I think their night was mainly playing you on those decks and playing each other, and they seemed really like keen. So
yeah. I was like insanely overstimulated at the end of that, because I'd had a work shift in the morning, and then the room was just loud voices, wasn't it? It's like a busy dice cup, and like, you know, great for the dice cup that the evenings are often really busy, but oh my goodness, I need to get some Loop earplug thing.
I'm so tempted by those Loops.
I'm gonna.
They are good.
Loop, please sponsor us, Loop. Hashtag sponsor. That'd be great.
That'll be a good sponsor.
Yeah. My missus has had some that bought like over time, because, you know, she's either lost them or dog eaten them. But she swears by them, to be fair.
Because you can get them now where they do like all the different sizes and stuff. Ooh. So I think I have to move. We're all moving. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. So we're all moving. We've got a new microphone as well, which is a good thing. You'll hear me moving around. We've got a new microphone. Elixir Games, who is one of the newer people we've mentioned on podcast, bought us a new microphone. So this whole podcast has been done on a Sennheiser Epos. I can't remember. I think it's a S30 or something like that. So we've got omnidirectional pickup. It's very technical, but who cares?
We can sit back and chill now. We're, you know, less structured around a table. It can be a bit more relaxed.
Yes. So that's been pretty good. I forgot my chain of thought though when I stood up, which is perfectly fine.
So yeah, I think in terms of these sorts of events, it makes me feel like we should really be creating not necessarily a separate day, but it's more of like a flexi day to be able to accommodate for new people and hopefully get them to the point where Thursday locals is their go-to, you know, if they can make them.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then, you know, or come down to the Wednesday every month, the last Wednesday of every month for like a proper tournament style thing.
Yes, I mean, we had enough people at the last Wednesday, I think, the last time we did Swiss, because Alfie wanted to do it on a Thursday, where even if we do new people come down on a Wednesday, it only takes like 2 or 3 people to drop out of Swiss, where it can still run, and we can still have that newbie pool where some people don't want to do Swiss and people need to learn kind of thing. So there's still plenty of room to do things like that. But yeah, that newbie event was just like hyper successful.
I think so. I got the social highs at the very beginning. I was very much like, oh my gosh, new people, talk. I'm gonna find out everything about what's going on with you. I was very much on the hyper end of that side.
You had a short but sweet visit.
Yeah, well, I had to. I was like, I could go without coming in today because you know schedule's tight for evenings and things like that, but I was like, no, I have to come in and see people and meet these new people, and you know, especially see you two as well. So yeah, it was good.
I finally got to tell you that you're my best man as well. One of my best men. Yeah,
best peeps.
I've got 3 best men technically, although the third one doesn't know yet, but he will know, so it's fine.
That's really nice.
She's quite cute.
It's down to you and me and that third best man to figure out what we're doing.
I love Sam's suggestion though. When I was like, oh yeah, it'd be nice. Like, the only thing I really want for my best men is like, plan me a super cute birthday party. That kind of level of vibe. Like, I want to be made special. Sam was like, we could do like a sick Opus 3 draft. I was like, you know what? I was like, sure, that sounds fine.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, that'll be fine.
That sort of suggestion is mostly definitely a Sam vibe. Right?
I'm down though. I just want, you know, like, what's better than like someone that likes TCGs? Like, go out for food, have some drinks, and then just do the most janky game possible. Like, the stupid stuff happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
like,
think
you don't want a stripper for your stag do you? You want some high quality niche gameplay.
I mean, if you show somebody like Gladio and then find the, I'm just saying.
Well, we've got a lot of ears, let's put a call out for a Gladio lookalike.
Now I've got an idea in my head where I come out with a massive TCG cardboard cutout of like a card, and he steps into the frame of the card and is like,
oh my god, don't, because this actually sounds good, and I don't want it. But I do want it.
and we go, okay, so Phil, you can be Noctis. You've just reduced your Gladio by 3 CP.
I'm just imagining like the text box like across the waist, and we're like, do you want to see the full art?
So good. So good.
Oh my god. Does he come out of like a giant booster pack and I have to rip the booster pack open?
Yeah.
We've covered him in glitter, he's a foil. You know?
Oh no, wait, I don't think a living stripper inside a booster pack is a good idea. This sounds bad. This is getting worse now. But
enough about giant booster pack kink.
It's going to headbutt the table.
But the newbie event was like good, and I don't actually think we need to say much more on it because it was just successful.
That was a good time.
And I don't even know if they will come back, but whether they do or not, everybody had fun and said they wanted to play the game more, which is all that matters.
I think, again, holding that side of the room for, if they come on Thursdays, making sure priorities on newer players from like our point of view, locals can come and be local and do their thing, where we can like possibly put time into making sure that the newbies don't feel
we always do
scared away. If
there's enough new players, like you can actually do the 2 pods, can't you?
Yeah, that's what I was saying when you were out of the room. We did that when Alfie was running.
Oh, yeah.
So it's basically we can always do that if 1 or 2 people don't want to, know. But I think, and I'm going to be the captain of Segways again. I think we should move on to having our own fun and do card of. I keep saying card of the week when it's not. It's just guess the card.
Guess the card of this month.
Guess the card of this month. Card of the month. Yes. So it's Jono's turn.
Yeah, it's 20 questions, right?
Yeah,
20 questions. Are you monitoring your questions? Because I don't have a pad.
Ooh, yeah, no, that's a good idea. I should get some.
It's fine. I can use my hands.
How long are you going to hold hands up for?
Yeah, let's find out. Let's find out.
Okay, so I have a card. It's on my screen right now.
Yep.
Who wants to start?
What's your question?
You have to like split the elements in half and say, is it one of those?
Round it into one answer.
Is it earth, fire, wind, or dark?
Yeah.
No.
Right.
Then
water, ice, lightning, light is the other 4, yeah?
Yeah. So we've got to half those again, right?
Yeah. Is it ice, lightning, or dark?
You asked a bit about the dark in the first question.
Oh, did we? Ice, lightning, or light? Sorry.
Is it ice, lightning, or light?
It is, yes.
Okay.
Is it a forward?
Yes, it is.
Lightning or light forward, okay.
Is it a lightning card?
No.
Oh god, it doesn't make it easier.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It's ice or light.
Okay. Is it light?
No.
So it's an ice forward.
We know it's an ice forward.
Okay. Is it Opus 20 and above?
No.
Ooh. An ice forward from the original 19 sets.
So now it's splitting that in half again. Is it Opus 10 or below?
Opus 10 or below?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so
nice.
He was particular about that. I'm wondering if it is Opus 10, but I'm not. That's not a question.
No, just checking to see if you.
Okay.
I was mainly focusing on the below.
So it is Opus 10 or below, and it's an ice forward. I do not know.
Is it in the first 5 opuses?
No.
Okay, so
6 to 10.
6 to 10.
I can't think of many.
Is it between? Sorry, is it cost 1, 2, 3?
No.
My God, it's a cost 4 and above.
4 and above.
That's 8 questions. Cost 4 and above. Oh, I keep on picturing one in my head, but I don't think it's that one.
Yeah, I've got like one really strong ice card in my head at the moment, but it's probably not that one. Like, why would you pick something that strong?
I mean, you could just go for it, I guess, Ron, because this question 8.
Let's see if I can dink it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Is it Opus 7 Renoa?
No.
Okay.
It's not Flicker Renoa.
Okay.
I think that was Opus 7 card.
Yeah, I think so.
So then, okay, is it like, because there would be cards from back then that were like over 8 CP, right? So we're seeing if it's like 7 and below. Is that 2?
No, yeah, you want to split it. You want to say, is it cost
4 or 5?
Actually, let's just say, is it cost 4?
Yes.
Okay, so it's cost 4. So
cost 4 ice forward.
So that's 10 questions gone. Okay.
Opus, what are we saying? 6 to 10?
6 to 10, yes. So it can't be. Yeah, it's not Flicker Renoa, like you say. I think she's Opus 5, actually. I think because she was.
No, it's definitely either 6 or 7.
It was Opus 6.
Yeah, because she was part of the reprint. Okay. Does it have 3,000 power or below?
No.
So it's above. It's 4,000 and above.
You want to cut it in like the middle, like.
Oh, see, I thought 3,000 was like...
3,000's like the...
True, because it's what, a 4 CP. It wouldn't be a 4 CP with 3,000 power and below. That's
Not
quite
commonly,
weird.
Not commonly.
No, so I've wasted the question. Bums, but it's fine. It's good for deck building to think that way. Oh, God.
Let's think. Does this card dull and freeze?
No, it does not.
Does this card a discard?
No, it
maybe
does not.
an ice card that
I'm wondering if I messed mine up because I said dull and freeze, so I didn't necessarily discount.
Okay, does it dull or freeze?
No.
Oh.
Okay, so neither. It doesn't
So
do.
it doesn't do any of the ice things.
It does. It's a card that doesn't have an ice trope.
A 4-drop.
We're on 14, by the way.
4-drop ice forward.
This is insane.
I've chosen one because
We said discard, didn't we?
yeah.
Is Zayzat ice? And is he in that range? Because I kept thinking of Zayzat.
That's Earth.
Is it Earth? Isn't there an ice Zayzat though?
There is, but it's
There is,
like
but he's a
1
1-drop.
CP
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a
that's
Legend
much
Emperor
later.
that's ice, and I think he's like Opus 3.
much later.
Oh my god. This is not in my strengths. I bet somebody listening to the podcast has just pulled over and shouted out the window.
We're chilling.
Yeah, you still got
You're
questions.
chilling.
We've still got questions. How many questions have we
I've got 6 left.
6 questions
We're
left.
chilling with 6
I
left.
feel like I might have stumped you on this one.
I don't have much knowledge of these
I feel like
opuses.
I feel like I've
So
ranged
6
you
to
out.
10. It's a 4-drop. It doesn't dull, freeze, or discard. You have picked a good one because ice isn't really my element, like in general.
Yeah.
You will. I think you specifically
Yeah.
will kick yourself.
Is it like... No.
Sam.
4-drop
Sam's gonna
ice
kick himself.
forward.
Is there like an old Kurosame that's like 4 CP?
Kurosame was only around like in the tens of.
Is it 10s?
Is the power 7,000 or below?
Correct. Yes.
So it's between 4,000 and 7,000, which means, yeah. This is... I'm just blanking on things.
I've got like one idea in my head. What was it? Between Opus 6 and 10?
6 and 10.
Oh, this idea is a bit old.
6 and 10, 4 and 7k power.
Too many of these cards that could exist, and I just am not an ice guy.
Does it have... Oh, can I... So...
Go for it.
Does it... I think I might have missed a question, but I'm just going to go... So we're on 15 now. I think I'm probably on 16, but 15. Does it have a special ability?
Yes.
So that helps because it must be a named card. It isolates everything that isn't named.
No standard units.
I think, yeah. So it's a named card with like a job and stuff. It has a special ability. So we've got 5 questions left, so I can choose this hand now, if I've forgotten.
It's Opus 6 to 10. Jesus Christ.
But if it's a special ability, an ice, so what named characters are traditionally ice? Obviously, it might not be one of those that would have an S.
Yeah, it's like Celes and
Oh, yeah.
Lock.
Reek, no, that's like wind ice kind of stuff. Any of the gull wings, but are they that old? You know the gull wings.
No, none of those.
Okay.
FF13 cards are in ice.
Yeah, because Sarah has some older prints. So are we now using our last 5 questions to try and see if it's a certain category?
I don't know.
Because it's gonna we've got to start narrowing it down to like.
This is a hard round you've done, Jonathan.
Sorry.
I think we've got to possibly do some categories here. So
Maybe.
is it? Oh, we've got 5 questions here. Is it category 6?
No.
So it's not the Celestes and
So
Locks.
it could be in 13 or something else.
Or no, 4 doesn't have because Cecil Ice was later, and Ice in Cat 4 doesn't. Cloud of Darkness is ice in weird sets.
There's like, what's that? Sid Reigns keeps getting printed in ice. There's
I think the card.
some weird cards. There's a Genova synthesis.
Is it Cat 13?
No.
Okay, so there's 3 left.
4 CP.
Right, we got to use these questions.
We're Sam, we are chilling. I think you said.
we were chilling at 6. So now we're at 3. I'm less chill.
So let me break it down so that you can remember. It's between 6 and 10 Opus.
Yeah.
4 CP.
Yeah.
7k or below.
Yeah.
7k to 4k.
7k to 4k. It's in ice, obviously. Has a special. Doesn't dull and freeze or any of the variants of ice like discard.
Yeah. And so it's underpowered for its cost because 4 CP 8k is the standard.
Yeah.
And it's got an S ability.
Can I give you a small... No, I'm not going to go all the way out there, but normally when a 4 CP 7k or below has, that power thing. You know, it doesn't. It's
There's
not.
something good on the card.
There's something that is on the card that helps the hand.
And it's a forward.
And it's a forward. It's not cat 6. It's not cat 13.
As
Do you know what I mean? Like
it might be reduced
or
reduced cost, something like that.
Because typically that's what happens within the economy. The economy of the cost.
Yeah, they try and balance it.
It out.
Oh no, Ice Shell.
So we didn't ask about cat 13, did we?
We did, yeah. We said no. It's not cat 13. It's not cat 6.
13.
Yeah, it's not 6 or 13.
I'm trying to think of 4-drop forwards in
Type
Ice that search now.
Type 0. No.
What searches in Ice?
I might have thrown you off with the whole that sort of thing.
Well, it's not a search, everyone.
That's clear.
I think something with the hand, but it's not many Ice forwards in this era of the game draw a card though. Like that's kind of insane.
Yeah.
This isn't. I keep thinking Shelk. It's not Shelk, is it? Because that's older. It's Opus 2.
That Shelk is Opus 2.
Yeah.
And it's between 6 and 10, so
And
it's not
also
a
that-
multi either.
And also that discarded as well.
Yeah.
Something with the hand.
As
With the hand.
In Ice.
With the hand.
boots with the fur.
Unless this
dead
is
in
one of
water.
those like look at the hand.
The special ability I feel is a really good clue. I just can't think what other categories
And
have ice
we've
cards.
eliminated category 6, right?
Yeah,
so
6
that would be a pretty good shout.
and 13. Yeah. So then, like, I know others have them. What, like Toto has ice variants. Isn't that?
There's not one that old though in that.
Other typical ice cards. We've said Kurosame. Is there a forward Shiva? Probably not, because that's the Cat 14. That Cat 14 one.
It might be one of these break a dull forward things.
Is there a Y'shtola? Oh yeah, so we could say, does it break a forward? Do you know any we could follow up with?
I don't want to ask that.
Well, it's also not for us, I suppose.
Ice has got so few, and like I don't remember one that enters the field and breaks a dull forward in that era.
It must.
No.
If it doesn't dull freeze and stuff, it must deal damage. It's got to be a damage dealer, or a breaker, like you say. So if it's got like a special ability that says
They've got some fucking stupid cards, though, haven't they? Sorry, I'm swearing now.
Sam is no longer chilling.
I'm not chilling.
Chilling has
There's 3 questions.
Being
of
destroyed
like,
by ice.
oh.
Sorry.
Should we ask if we'd see it in a typical list? Maybe that's quite a like.
That's so nebulous, especially when the meta's this old.
Do I give you anything else?
Do we get anything else?
How would the viewers feel about us?
Do we
getting
introduce
clues?
lifelines?
Because we obviously want to win, but like I don't know.
I'm impartial. To
I think. Can we do it this way? That we get a lifeline where you give us like a clue. We'll see how good it is, but we can only ask it when we're like this close to the wire. We can't do it like, we've asked 2 questions. Lifeline, give us the thing.
Yeah.
So it has to be when we're like on like the last 2 or 3. So it's always down to the wire.
All right. Before we ask our last question, you can give us a clue.
So last question.
Before we ask our last.
So when we've got
Before you ask your last.
So we've got
question.
we get to so we've used.
I thought we had 3 left.
You've got 3 left. So we ask you 2 more, and then you give us like the last one.
Clue, not necessarily like something that will instantly give it.
Okay,
away.
so we've got 2 more to ask, and then 1 more once we get the clue.
So it's a 4-drop, and it does something that regains the value of it being smallish.
In terms of equality of the. No,
I feel like we've got to ask the
economy
meta
of the
question.
forecast
Yeah.
and the power.
Which makes me think it either draws or searches, but it doesn't do those things.
It's not.
But it does
There are
something
Ice
else.
Cat 8 cards. So that we do get old Squalls and Renoas. He said it's not a Renoa, but it could be a Squall. There was a really weird.
You asked me for a specific Renoa though. That's the thing.
Yeah, you asked me for Renoa, but we didn't. I said Cat 8,
Is it
and
a
I know. Isn't there's an Opus?
Is that a question?
There's an. No.
I was.
I know, and I want to use FFX to look at my card, but I probably won't. I think there's an Opus 10 Legend Squall that's ice, and I remember seeing an S on it because I was looking through collections recently.
Legend Squall from Opus 10, wasn't he a 3-drop?
He was a 3-drop. Yeah. He was a box
Stop
stopper.
it!
He was a box stopper.
Stop it! Oh, I got so excited. I thought I just had like this like clairvoyant moment where my third eye opened and the Squall was there.
So, have you asked that?
No, we haven't. I think we have to ask. Do we should ask
questions.
Should we just ask?
Hold on. I don't want to think.
Sam's crumbling under pressure.
Crumbling.
It's got to be either a category.
Does the effect target a forward?
No.
What the fuck? I think I'm just gonna burn it and be like.
Target a forward.
Yeah.
There's no targeting.
Therefore, it's a blanket effect, or
It's meant.
well, therefore it could be
It's
a blanket
like
effect.
something that like you play on the field and then it like dulls all the forwards at the end of
He said it
turn or
doesn't dull.
something.
But it's an end of turn, happens to all things kind of thing. We've got one more question.
Forward drop, ice, forward. What?
Look at him. He's like, this is like Christmas. He's like, I'm getting to torture my friends. Hooray!
I
Last
feel
time
like
I did
you
this,
said I would kick myself, so I might have even played this forward, which is harrowing.
Do you want? I think that should be the question, just because it's funny.
Oh god, sure.
Has Sam played this forward?
No.
Oh,
That's like now we get your clue because it's the last question.
Yeah,
But I have.
you, John.
That's the clue. Is that you played the forward?
I've
Great.
played this forward. I have played this forward.
Because my brain keeps, in terms of this era, I keep thinking of backup snow.
Think of the era and think of what I used to play around that sort of time.
Quick, Sam, have a life flashback of every card Jono has ever played.
Yeah.
Well, you did play FF8 for a while, so if there is a 4-drop squall in that era, it could be that. I'm not
But your
guessing. I'm
last
not locking in a
question-
guess
Your
yet.
last question.
Yeah.
It has to be like what the card is, and
Yeah.
we've not got enough. I think this is a failure, but we can at least get a yes on our last question. Of like,
I'm
is
just
that-
trying to remember what Jono played.
I think it has to be. Like, for me, Cat 8's the only thing I can think of. I can't think of Cat 7 ice cards. Does Azul have an old ice card? There's some old. You've got like Nero Vice and stuff, shit, haven't you? So,
But only Sam would know whether I played that or not.
don't you start mind
I
games.
don't ever remember Jono playing mono ice or anything like actually fully.
But has he played like Cat 7? Has he played? Because isn't there an old Nero Vice, Reeve, that kind of stuff? The Turks are all that age.
No, the thing is, the old Nero Vice were all unplayable.
Yeah, 6 CP. Nero.
okay.
Vice, sorry. Back then.
Ice. Yeah, you played some Ice Fire and some Ice Lightning, as far as I remember. It was, but it's not. We know it's not Cat 13.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I think we've just got to
I'm
ask.
gonna cry when this.
We've got to ask a category. I think we've got to just ask a question and then like see.
So on this question, do we have to ask? Do we get a question then a guess at the card? Or
Oh man, then you're getting 21 questions then, aren't
guessing the card.
But that is also a game people play, so therefore.
Are we changing the rules on the wire?
Yeah. Should we just guess a card name?
I'll give you up to 20 questions, and then if you feel like you want to make that final guess.
I think we've just got to say. I think I've got for me. I just want to say we've got to say a category and then guess the other.
Well, let's think of more than one category.
So 8, 7. I don't think 9 and Black Waltzes from 9 were they any of those in those
They weren't
range?
back then. No, they
It's
weren't
not
back
going to be
then.
there. It's not going to be.
I don't feel like it's 12. 11. Were any of those?
Not many playable ice cards from Cat 11. Like Camlanor,
Hey.
but that's not old enough.
Does Jono always play playable cards?
Yeah, more than I used to.
Yeah,
I used to play some crap.
So for me, the ones that he's given to me are 7 and 8, but that's just me.
I have played this card, and then I've taken it to a tournament.
But I wouldn't have.
Oh, he's taking it to a tournament.
Oh, but not when I'm
There was
around,
no ice card
obviously.
in that Warrior of Light deck back in the day. What the hell? What the hell? He's taking it to a tournament?
I love this card to death, to be honest with you.
Oh, he's just giving us loads of these vague hints that are great, and
And it's a forecast.
It's a forecast.
It sounds like Shellk. You reminded me of your Shellk era, but obviously that's the
That's a 3 cost, yeah.
okay. So we go with categories. Is there any others we want to add? Or are we just going to say like 7 or 8 or
I feel like I'm missing something.
say? But I can't.
You've missed a few, to be honest with you. Like, you've got the category and all that sort of stuff, but what's the rarity of the card? I don't know if that helps.
Oh God! I mean,
missed a few
is
of
it?
them.
I mean, if you say it's a legend, if it's not a legend, then it's like
Because that
great.
kind of helps whittle it down, doesn't it? Really.
He's really trying to hit it. So should we say it's? I don't know. Fine. Is it?
Yeah, we'll ask a category, I guess.
Oh, good. Oh, we have.
Sorry, no, we'll ask a rarity. Sorry.
It is as a legend. So.
We have to. So we say, is it
a hero or a legend
or the other ones?
Yeah. So is it a hero or a legend?
No.
It's a common or a rare. What the fuck?
So now's your chance to guess the card.
A common or a rare. There's a 4-drop ice card that he likes.
It's 4 to
Oh,
7.
do you know what I just thought of? Like tactics cards.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know tactics though.
this isn't going to be original Sid Reigns, is it? I mean, what's the one who's in the meta who blocks entry effects?
Sid Randell.
Sid Randell.
There's an old version of that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Sid ran down. Oh,
Oh no, but that was Opus 4 or 5.
Yeah, that was
This is
Opus 4.
too old. Yeah.
yeah. You're thinking of my original,
Yeah.
like original.
This is so hard.
Yeah.
The nearest thing that like ticks every box we've had so far is like a Squall from that era, but
Then
but did he ever take that to a tournament? I don't remember
know.
him taking that to a tournament.
I think we've lost this one. I think we've dragged it out.
Do you want to give one guess?
I'm going to say the name of the card.
Let's just guess Squall, shall we?
Yeah, I think it's just is it? We don't know what it is, but if we get the name right, at least we're halfway there.
We'll lock in Squall.
It's just a Squall.
Opus, yeah.
We don't know what it is, but if you say yes, it's card name Squall. We didn't win, but we were halfway there.
It is not card name Squall.
Okay, what is it, Jesus?
I played a deck with, I think, that same card name Squall that you were doing it.
Yeah.
But it is Opus 9 Quistis.
Oh yeah, from the same deck.
From the same deck.
What's her text?
Her text is she's an EX burst, and when Quistis enters the field, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, add a category 4 forward, category 8 forward from that to the hand. It buffs all jobs seed forwards 1k, and the special was level ? Death.
I asked you if it was Cat 8.
No, you didn't.
What was it? Cat 13 and Cat 6?
Yeah.
Shit, we should have said the 7 and 8. Oh.
And so this one was in my very much
So I
playing.
guessed within the right deck,
You
but
did.
not the right card.
Yeah.
And we were
I just
on the-
forgot about that.
I love.
Quistis.
You know that I played the hell out of this deck back then, and I took it to Opus.
So close.
2019.
And that whole time I was like, let's ask about Cat 7 and 8.
Yeah,
Like,
2019 Nationals is where I played that deck, and I played the Lightning Ice version of that.
Yeah.
Oh mate, I loved it, and so yeah, that was the card. So yeah, the special for
I wonder if any of the listeners got that.
yeah.
if listeners got it, tell us like on what question you got it and why we're stupid.
To be honest with you, it's not a played card nowadays. It's
good.
It's years
Yeah.
on card, but
It was a savage having one that was well before your era. That's not
yeah,
even
yeah.
like.
But there is also a modern Ice Quistis it is a
Backup one.
trope sort of that is recognised.
the backup one.
Is she? No, she's
There's a forward and a backup
There's a forward and a backup modern
one?
Quistis.
The forward one's like Dull Freezer forward for each Cat 8 character you have.
Yes.
Yes. The special on this one was never played though, and because even though I tried to
Is it a
take
gambling one? Or something?
yeah, it was. It was a special pay ice and dull to reveal the top card of the deck. Break all forwards opponent controls with the same cost as the revealed card. Add the revealed card to hand.
Yeah, so weird.
So
It's like if I play loads of 4-drops and I come up against other 4-drops, I could do something good.
yeah.
Wow.
That does sound awful.
It was never used, but the idea of me having this on board was just mainly to buff up the Cat 8 cards that I had for Squall and for Renoa.
Yeah.
Just to kind of give them a big kick, because that 2CP Renoa I felt was crazy at that time.
That's
It
the
does-
level of old jank we needed for
Yeah.
this game.
It's so good.
I do feel like in like pre-Opus like 13, there was a lot of S abilities that almost never got used.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like there's so many underpowered S abilities.
Yeah.
Like I love the design team for this game, but that was a bit odd back then.
That one.
Although
that
we
was-
were both probably terrible at the game, weren't we? So we probably would have seen more if we were better players.
I mean, honestly, you go to a big tournament and you just go, I'm going to play my pet deck. I don't know, it's that was the era that we were in. It's like any tournament we go to, I don't care about winning. I just want to play my pet deck as much as possible.
Taking Monsters to 2019 Nationals and coming like maybe second to bottom.
Yeah. I mean, that was the first tournament, really, wasn't it? I can't really think of any big tournaments like.
And we had like weird
events.
ones like X-Burst.
Oh, X-Burst, yeah, we went down to X-Burst, but yeah, I thought that was good. That's some good memories, to be fair.
I didn't bring my decks.
Yes, he
Didn't bring my cards to
He
a
left
card
his
game
bag
tournament.
at home, and he brought the one bag that brought all of his kit.
How did
but
you
then
get to this event? Was it like car or train or
car? 3-hour drive.
That's the most sound
drove
thing
down
I
to-
think I've heard.
We drove down to Kent or something. It was Kent that we.
For real.
Yeah.
You like got out of your house, which you should have left with it on your back, and so many things.
But
that go through my mind.
back in the day, bear in
I like
mind this
that.
was early opuses, and it was the first actual event that we went to. So I give him his dues because nowadays the only thing he'll bring is his cards and forget his pants. You know what I mean? It's like it's a reverse probably now.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah.
Oh, well, like that's burnt me out. I mean, because the guys can't see the time on the podcast, but we've been recording for over an hour and a half just. So it's like we're like
I feel like ending it with a brain teaser is definitely a good way to finish a podcast,
You
right?
destroyed us with that one. That was a good pick, Jono. Well done.
So Sam's the next one up next time round.
Right, yeah. Time
get ready to choose an archfiend.
Fucking archfiend.
Does it have back attack?
In before Yumcax. You know?
Definitely.
Oh my god.
Loving
Out
this.
of context, that sounds horrible.
Cringeworthy. So good. Anyway, thanks guys for hanging about. I think we're going to pack it in there.
Yeah.
We can't wait to see everyone who's at going to Winter Cup.
Yeah, good luck
in a
to those
couple of
players.
weeks.
Yeah.
If you see us at Winter Cup, please do nag us. We will give you slice and dice stickers.
You two better take stickers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
put
Well,
them-
no, I've run out. My lads have just stuck them all over my
right.
bedroom wall.
You come in on Wednesday.
I'm coming in on Wednesday.
All right, I'll try and
give
remember
me
to
some.
give you my ones.
Yeah. Basically, I left them on my bedside table, and next time I come in, I see them all over my wardrobe. I'm like, fuck.
It's a real slice and diced wardrobe there.
Yeah, they're fanning my wardrobe. So can't wait to play some cards and see some good friends. Sorry you can't come, Sam, but we'll have another time, I'm sure.
I'll be reminiscing in Tenerife over my margaritas or whatever.
We'll be getting turned in the Zip Hotel for you. Don't you worry.
Hilarious. I told my wife that you're missing it, and she was like, fuck that, she's in Tenerife. It's like, you play cards over Tenerife, like, choose that. It was like, oh no, I'll be having the suntan and everything. So I won't be thinking of anything.
Wait,
else.
why doesn't Tony go to Tenerife and you come to card games? This seems like...
Tony and my partner can get to know each other.
Yeah.
Funny. I think you'll definitely be missed. And Winter Cup, like I haven't gone one time, and it's like not the same or whatever, So it's definitely not going to be the same without you, my friend.
Yeah,
but,
you'll have to be me.
I'll have to just be you, yeah.
I'll give you the belt.
Take mono water with me and see how far I get. Probably not as big brained as you.
No.
It's going to be a good time, and hopefully we can maybe get some good events going at Dice Cup at some point in the future.
Yeah.
Things go.
Tournament before next set, yeah?
Yeah.
I was literally, we'll brainstorm
We'll hang
the
on
name
that.
soon, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll put all ideas into a
Midlands
box.
Mayhem or some shit.
Yeah, we're sapping the Midlands. We're gonna drain them. Right. Lovely to be on here, and hopefully.
Thanks
see
for
you
listening,
soon.
guys. Yeah.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.